Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another issue of Mortal Realms magazine. As per usual, if you like these videos, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below. It's greatly appreciated, and I do reply to pretty much every comment as fast as I possibly can. But without further ado, let's jump into this week's issue, which is issue 41. We have some great models here. So we have this mighty sprue that includes 2 Liberator Primes. It includes some Retributors, a good old Lord Relicta as well on there. So some really fantastic models, 7 models in total, which is really good value for money. Pretty cool stuff as well. Lord Relicta model is absolutely fantastic, and I must admit he's pretty damn cool. And I can't wait to get painted on those. Unfortunately, it's just adding to the backlog of models that I've got from the magazine. Into the actual issue though, of course it's going to be very Stormcast heavy, which isn't a bad thing when you're getting cool information on characters such as Lord Relicta. So, amongst the Stormcast Eternals, Lord Relictas are figures of mystery and awe. They possess a rare wisdom that sets them apart from their kin. In their former lives, they were shamans or priests with an affinity for the magic of the realms. So, Lord Relictas, kind of a more of a religious kind of aspect of Lord Relictas, with them being ex-shaman and priests and stuff like that. So, many Lord Relictas bear reliquaries containing the skeletal remains of fallen heroes. They raise these macabre banners aloft as they utter prayers to Sigmar. In the presence of such sacred relics, the faithful of Sigmar are inspired to undertake ever greater acts of heroism in pursuit of victory. So they carry these kind of banners, essentially, the reliquaries, which contain a hero's remains. Really cool kind of like iconography as well with them. They look pretty damn cool. They also have that cool skull helm instead of having their actual normal helm like most Stormcast do. They carry a cool relic hammer, which is absolutely awesome, and it's really nicely sculpted, I must admit. It's a really cool model to have. I really like this model. Definitely one of the better ones as well. But with these, they're not just priests, they are actual warriors as well. So they will swing that hammer ever so brutally, smashing enemies with it. They don't fear anybody, and they will happily charge headlong into the battle to make sure that they are smashing away as well and kind of leading the charge. Then we get, of course, a page about the Retributors. So, members of the Paladin conclaves, Retributors wield 2-handed lightning hammers that even 2 mortal men would struggle to bear aloft. They are truly elite soldiers, tasked with slaying the storm host's most powerful foes, be they rampaging monsters or unstoppable engines of war. So with these guys, they are a bit bigger, they are more heavily armoured than most Stormcast, they carry an awesome hammer. They have cool helms on them, I'm not going to lie, I really quite like these guys. They can carry these axes, which are pretty damn cool, but most of the time you get them with a model with them carrying them hammers. Really good stuff. Really nice models to have as well. They've got this cool armour. Yeah, they look beefier. They are proper like Cybermen style as well. But yeah, really good stuff. So I'm quite happy to have all these models. So, your how to build section now is going to detail how to build all the models that we're getting on that sprue, of course. So, you have a Liberator Prime number 1, and there is a second Liberator Prime in there as well. You have a Prosecutor Prime, which is a pretty cool model as well, another flying unit as well for the Stormcast. Pretty cool stuff, quite like that model as well. Quite like these Liberator Primes as well. They stand out from the rest of the Liberators, which is pretty damn cool. You've got your Retributor Prime carrying a hammer, which is pretty damn cool, and he looks pretty damn good doing it. And then you've got your Retributor 1 and Retributor 2, and then of course the building guide for that Lord Relicta, which is kind of the more important one, I would say. I would like to say that one is definitely the more important model, in my opinion. Your how to paint section, detail of course, going through how to paint everything, including they suggest using Corax White over the Lord Relicta's skull helm, and just don't paint on the gold armour, okay, of course, because you'll have to touch everything up. And how to paint the good old reliquary is in there as well, so how to kind of go through getting it into a nice kind of cool look, a motif and everything like that, and it should look a little something like that. If you're following the guide, it will not paint that skull fully, but there will be details of how to do that in a future issue. And then of course you've got the prosecutor primes and stuff like that, so you can go back over any details and everything like that if you wish. So pretty much is exactly the same way that you've pretty much painted the other two prosecutors that we've had, and the Knight Azeroth that we had, or if you turn it into the Knight Venator if you wanted to, in a very, very similar way. And then of course your Retributors, which should look something similar to that if you're following that group. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. Then of course you get in the War Scrolls, so you've got the Lord Relicta War Scroll. So of course it has a healing storm, so a Lord Relicta can call down cleansing bolts from the sky, invigorating their allies with the power of the storm and closing even the most grievous wounds. They also have the ability of lightning storm as well, so that is pretty cool, and so they can blast the enemies with some magical abilities, and they can carry a single relic hammer as well, which has a range of 1 inch, 4 attack, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, -1 rend, and 1 damage as well. Really nice units to have. Your Retributors as well, you got the War Scroll for them, so they have the ability of Blast to Ashes. A well-swung lightning hammer unleashes its pent-up energies in a great blast of Azerite energy, destroying everything it strikes. And the Retributor Prime also gets a bit of an extra bit of pieces, so it gets +1 to its attack characteristic due to its lightning hammer as well. And onto the other page, of course, it gives you the details of how to use those abilities, the Healing Storm and the Lightning Storm as well. Then your battle plan is the first one into the good old Realm of Metal. So it is the Verdigris Plains. As night haunts swarm across Chamon, the hammers of Sigmar descend from the heavens to counter the threat and find out exactly what the dead seek in the Realm of Metal. So, cool little bit of battle plan. There's not a lot of history with this issue, so it's a bit different. It's quite nice to see. And then you also have a Skewering Plane, so how to play it and what you'd go up against. So you'd have 1 Spirit Torment, 15 Chain Rasps, 4 Glaive Wraith Stalkers and 3 Spirit Hosts, going up against the Lord Relicta, the 3 Prosecutors, 2 units of 5 Liberators, and the 3 Retributors. So you're getting a beefy amount of Stormcast Eternals going up against a beefy amount of Nighthaunt on that one. They're also giving us some paper objective markers to cut out and use as well, which isn't too bad. It's pretty handy, so it'll help go along with some of the battles that are coming up. And then there is also the bigger page, so this one gives us a bit more detail about the Realm of Metal. So of course there's that nice big map, so you've got all the different pieces, areas and everything like that. You also have certain major locations, so the Turpentine City, Scrapper Spill, Griffin's Eyrie, the God's Claw, and Zangriel Coast. So, of course, the Serpentine City, an endless caravan of nomads slowly snakes its way through the boulder-strewn wilds of Odren. So it's not necessarily a city, a fixed city, but they are winding away, always moving, always keeping going, and stuff like that as well. But they work as a city because it is a very long caravan. Scrapper Spill is a land now teeming with Uruk tribes, The greenskins pile their spoils of war high for all to see. Griffin's Eyrie, long ago a metallurgic catastrophe twisted with the heart of the spiral crux beyond recognition. The God's Claw, here the sorcerers of Zeech practice their most mind-bending spells. And Zangriel Coast, the beaches near Galleon's Bane echo to the squawking calls of the beastmen on the hunt as well. So as you can imagine, Zeech is very, very kind of focused in this realm, but there is also some pretty cool ones. So you have the Kahadran Overlords, who they are Dwaridin people, and of course Grungni is of course the smith god of the Duradin as well. During the Age of Myth, he claimed dominion over Chamon. Seeking to impose order upon its dangerous wilds, he created a realm of riches and wonders that would become known as the God-wrought Isles. The breath he exhaled whilst completing this task still drifts above the spiral crux in the form of the clouds of Aether Gold. And then on the other one you got the Disciples of Zeech, so and a bit more information about the Changer of Ways, and then a bit of information about the Ether War with that artwork as well, which came from the Ether War box set that you could get as well, which is pretty damn cool. It's quite a nice artwork as well. As with most Warhammer artwork, it is pretty damn cool and nice to see as well. Moving on though, next week we get 2 pots of paint, so we get Pallid Witch Flesh and we get Calgar Blue, and we get Small Layer Brush as well, which is pretty decent. Yeah, it's not the most spectacular issue that we could get, but it's not too bad either. Issue after though, we get some Sacrosanct Reinforcement, so we get in the Celestar Ballista. We have a couple of units as well, so we've got a couple of good old Secretors, we have some Evocators as well in there as well. So pretty good stuff. More Stormcast, which is pretty nice to see, but it'll be nice to see some more Nighthawk coming soon, which should be pretty good. So yeah, some good stuff coming from the issues. Now that we're just slightly over about halfway point, some more good stuff to come, which will be pretty decent as well. Right, thank you very, very much for watching, and yeah, I will see you in the near future. Bye bye now.